this video, I wanted to go ahead and show you how my brands collectively made over €1 million within just a week. This is going to show you all of the back-end stuff that we've been working on during this period for my ecom brands, the stores, how we tailored them to Black Week, the ads manager, our best performing campaigns, and even some of our back-end metrics such as our ad spend, net profits, and so on. While this is only for Black Week, I still think there is a lot for you guys to learn, because the strategies that we apply here can really be used for any time of the year. So I think if you're able to apply some of this knowledge to any period of the year, you will most likely see some growth. After all, I've been doing this for almost 3 years now at big scale, and we've just seen some rapid growth for the past couple of years. As you might have heard, I have in just 2.5 years crossed the barrier from 0 to 15 million euros in revenue, which I almost can't believe myself. Today I'm also sitting here in my apartment in Dubai. I moved in a few days ago. Really, if you apply yourself, things can change quickly. And it's crucial for me to say that and emphasize that, because I didn't think it was possible either when I began. I just want to inspire as many people as possible and help you succeed as well. With that said, I think let's just get straight into it, because there is a bunch of things, small tweaks that I want to show you and give you some concrete example for one of my larger brands. This is the brand called Scandinavian Rest, and in here I've gone into Triple Whale. Now, if you don't know Triple Whale, it is the go-to tool for collecting all your metrics from the different platforms into one. So in here, I'm able to see all of our metrics during a certain period. As you can see up here, it says the 1st of November to the 30th of November. These are all our numbers for that entire month. Now, in just a minute, I'll obviously go ahead and tweak some of the periods so you can see the impact of Black Week and what we experienced during the period. First and foremost, what you can see is for this brand only, we did 3.78 million Danish kroner in revenue. That's around 500 to 600k euros, I believe. And we did a total net profit of 636,000 kroner, which should be around 90,000 euros. But if you actually zoom in, you'll see that almost all of the profits and revenue come from the Black Friday period. And what we chose to do this year was to have a sale called Black Week that would enable us to extend the period. So we launched it Sunday the 25th, and what we did was we had a pre-sale. Before this period, we wanted to kind of hype out our customers and tell them about our Black Week sale. And what we did this year, which we also did last year, was we ran a bunch of ad campaigns and email campaigns telling people that will sign up to our newsletter or our event on Facebook. We also created an event on Facebook called Black Week Scandinavian Rest VIP Access. So we told our customers, well, if you sign up to our newsletter in here or enter our event on Facebook, then you can get pre-access to our event. You can get access 4 hours before everyone else to make sure that you can get your item before everything sells out. Now, this is very effective, and this is something, as mentioned, we've done year after year, and it just works. And I think I want to show you guys the numbers here, if I can just pull them up. Boom. 480,000 kroner in revenue in just one day, and not just in one day, almost everything in 1 hour actually. As you can see here, 8 p.m., 1 hour, we did almost 300,000 Danish kroner in revenue. Profit was, almost half actually. Think of that, that's mind-blowing. 142,000 kroner in profits in just 1 hour. This is all due to the hype we made leading us up to this period. So you can see this was just a regular Sunday, not a lot of revenue, because people knew we would have that pre-sale. So people held onto their money, waiting until we launched our pre-sale. And when we did, boom, it just took off. As you can see, 8,000 kroner in revenue before on an entire hour, and then boom, it absolutely skyrocketed. If you've got a brand has got somewhat of a presence, this works even better. This brand is actually the market leader in Denmark and very large in Scandinavia as well. We've got a bunch of other stores for this brand, so this is only our Danish numbers. So if you've got a brand that's slightly larger, this works even better, because then people might have already bought from you last Black Friday, and so they know you likely do this pre-sale again. They know that you've got a great quality product and so on. So as you can see, we did some incredible numbers here. A net margin of 43%. If you know anything about e-commerce, at big scale like this, I would actually be happy with a profit net margin around 15 to 20%. And if we move along this period, what you can see is what we actually see most of Black Fridays, Black Weeks, is that at the pre-sale we sort of peak, and then as we go along on the days, our revenue slightly drops, and then Black Friday it takes a large peak, always outperforming our pre-sale. So as you can see here, Monday we did 244,000 kroner in revenue, almost 100,000 Danish kroner profit. That's around 15k euros, and I believe 35,000 euros, somewhere in that range, which is also great for just a Monday, I guess you can imagine as well. To me, these are life-changing amounts, and to someone regular as well, it might seem crazy that we're able to pull off these numbers. But keep in mind that I've also worked very hard for a bunch of years, not spending my time on anything else than perfecting my ecom skills. So that's why now it's almost like a sport to me. It feels quite easy. But if you're a beginner, definitely just take one step at a time and start perfecting your skills. And so the day after, 180,000 kroner in revenue and slightly lower net profit, but still great 40% net margins and at 72,000. One thing I actually want to emphasize for you guys is the fact that during a period like this, and in general with ecom, it's all about finding a balance between the revenue and the profits. What I mean by that is we could have had 2 extra revenue that we did, without a doubt, very easily, because we could just have scaled our ad spend. As you can see, actually this day, we only spent 11,500 Danish kroner on ad spend to generate 180,000 Danish kroner in revenue. This year, I wanted so badly to prioritize our profits. A mistake that a lot of new ecom people do is they just look out for their revenue because they think that a higher revenue is equal to higher profits. And that's simply just not the case. It's very much all about finding a balance between how much do you want to spend on ads to generate the revenue and how much do you want to generate in profit. Because there is actually a correlation, and not a lot of people are aware of this, but the higher your ad spend is, the lower return of investment you actually get. And it's fine with a lower return on an investment if you've got a very large revenue. But therefore, you can probably guess now, and I think you get the point, that it's very much about finding that sweet spot. With that said, let's take a look at our Wednesday. As you can see also this day, if you know anything about ecom, we pulled a 12 ROAS on such a large ad spend, which is just mind-blowing. And that's also why we've got such large profit margins. Another 156,000 kroner in revenue. Let's now quickly jump to Thursday and then Friday, because that's where all the interesting stuff happened. As you can see, Thursday, the revenue pulled a bit more up, and we did a total of 235,000 kroner in revenue here, almost 100,000 Danish kroner in profit. That's once again, the profit is around 15k euros, and the revenue is around 35,000 euros. So as you can see, net margin of 41% and a ROAS of 16. If you know anything about digital marketing, you know that these are crazy numbers to pull. Keep in mind that this is just for one of the stores for this brand. We also have a store in Sweden, Norway, Germany, and across the entire of Europe. And as some of you know, I also run multiple other brands. Currently, I'm running around 4 different brands, and they all performed at around this level. Some are obviously larger than others, but nevertheless, I think you get the point. we know what we're doing here. But let's take a look at Friday, the Black Friday, where everything went down. As you can see here, we did a total whooping of 538,000 kroner and almost 45% in profit, 235,000 kroner. Absolutely mind-blowing if you know anything about ecom. This was a great day for us. Now what I want to show for you next is how did we approach this in terms of changing our store? What steps did we take to optimize it compared to a regular store where there's no sale? So you know, how can you optimize your store yourself for when you've got a sale? So a few key things here that we did during this period. Obviously, it is Black Week, so we wanted to make our store with a more dark vibe, essentially. So we changed the announcement bar up here from our regular brand color of blue to black, and then we wrote, this is in Danish, but we wrote Black Week, save 15 to 40% the next. And then we had a timer up here, actually, and now it's not visible anymore because we removed the code. But it was just a timer counting down when our Black Week sale would end, just to give some urgency. In periods like these where there are actual sales, if you're a brand that doesn't often have these sales, urgency is crucial. So we also darkened the tones slightly more here, which once again gives a more dark feel. And down here we actually didn't change anything because you also want to keep the elements that's already working for you. But if you go onto our collection page, what you can see is we added this banner up here. This looks especially well on mobile, which is always the important. You should always optimize your store for mobile. But we added Black Week, save 15 to 40% until the 27th of November. In here, we actually didn't do much. Obviously, we had a sale, which when the price was lowered, the sale was visible here. And we also had changed the text here to like it said limited stock. And over here, we just had a sale. We made sure to give a solid discount. Then in the cart, we did some changes as well. We added that your cart is only reserved for the next 10 minutes. Then we also added a column here that said discount to show, well, how much have you saved by purchasing our Black Week sale. And what we also did, it isn't live either any longer because then it would show up on our current live site. But we had a small pop-up showing up down here that just basically said, well, we've got a Black Week sale right now where you can save 15 to 40%. Would you like to check it out or something? And then with just a button, check it out. And then when they click that button, they would just be sent to this page. And the reason we did that was just when you've got sales like these, it is crucial that all of your visitors, they know you've got this sale by once again putting in the announcement bar and these other features as well as the pop-up. We just made sure that all visitors that came to our site, they knew with 100% certainty that they had come to the right place where we had the sale. One thing that's crucial during a period like this is managing your ads, as it is always with an ecom brand. So how did we do that? Now we approach our advertising the same across the year. Obviously during peak periods like these we do some minor changes, but the core principles always remain the same. Optimizing your creatives. Your creatives is basically just the images and the videos that people see when they see your ads online. Optimizing your creatives is the go-to strategy still, but with that said, when it's Black Week, you have to take even a closer look at your numbers and make sure to, well, increase the ad spend when it makes sense, when your numbers are solid. In general, just if you've got an established brand, stay on a slightly higher ad spend level. So as you can see, we actually only spent 78,000 kroner on ad spend during that period. We could have spent a lot more, but honestly, I just didn't want to this year. I could have had perhaps 2 extra revenue, but not with as much profit as we had this year. With that said, you can actually see how aggressive we had our lead ads. Our lead ads, they were the ads I was telling you about in the beginning, where we had ads on Facebook and Instagram telling people that, hey, if you sign up here, you can get access to our VIP Black Week sale. So as you can see in here, we just only had one ad set going after this. This is in Danish, but it just says broad. And what this means is we just target the entirety of Denmark. Now this works incredibly well if your country isn't very large. In Denmark, there's only around, I believe, 5.5 million citizens or something like that. So it works well in that scenario. If you're living in a way larger country, I wouldn't recommend broad as much. Then you need to shrink in your audience size a bit. But nevertheless, this is what we did. And you can see our ads were just very, very basic, but we had a bunch of different ones. Our winner this year was very simple, and it's very often images as well. Just a basic image telling that this is actually what we did for this one was we swapped it out and told people, well, if you also subscribe to our Black Week VIP list, then you also enter a giveaway. So think of all the different ways you can get your potential customer to sign them up for the newsletter. All ways you can give them incentives, essentially. So we did it with the giveaway, and it works incredibly well for us. And I think in general, you can also just build up your email list very easily by doing giveaways like these. We also had a bunch of videos, essentially just showing a bunch of clips from previous customers, just showing that now it's Black Week and you can get access before everyone else. But during the period, what we spent most on was in here on the Black Week, where we just had a bunch of our previous winning creatives. Simultaneously with this campaign, we also just ran our typical ads. So we didn't turn anything off, we just added this. And so this is what we did during the period. This was our winning ad in here, very basic. It just says save up to 40% on products that give you a better sleep. Very, very basic, but it worked incredibly well. But actually what worked best for us this year was our typical winning ads. And that's actually what most of you will likely see when you're doing this, that your typical winning ads will outperform your generic niche ads for the sale. And that's just because, well, if you've already got a winning ad and people like it, when they also know that, well, this is a typical period for a sale, such as Black Week, then they are much more incentivized to click the ad. And then when they enter your site, see that, well, wow, there is a sale in here, then the conversion rate just increases. With that said, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. I wanted to try and give you some more concrete tips on what we did and also show you some of the numbers. As you can see, for just this brand, this one store, in 1 week, over here we did almost 1 million Danish kroner in profits. This is 873,000 Danish kroner, which is probably around 120,000 euros. Quite a lot of money in 1 week in pure profits that I could essentially put in my pocket. With that said, also, if some of you are looking to take the steps to optimize your current ecom store or start your journey into ecom, I know it can be quite a daunting task, and it can be very tricky if you're a beginner. But if you want someone to kind of hold your hand, give you the concrete steps and guide you towards success, I've built a mentorship program that you can feel free to check out. There's a link down in the description where we essentially go even further in depth with stuff like this and tell you all about how I've managed to do 15 million euros in just 2.5 years. Yeah. Peace.